A judge sentenced Cameron Herren to 24 years in state prison Thursday night, almost 3 years after the young man sped along Bayshore Boulevard and crashed into a mother and daughter, killing both. Hillsborough Circuit Judge Christopher Nash's decision came at the end of a long day of testimony, which saw Herren's family members and friends take the witness stand to talk about his character, before a parade of family members of the two victims voiced their heartbreak and rage at the damage done to their lives. "It's impossible to have greater harm than occurred in this case," the judge said. Herren, 21, appeared wide-eyed as the judge announced his fate. Afterward, as a sheriff's deputy placed him in handcuffs, members of his family began to weep. When her son called that day in 2018, Cheryl Herren could hear that he was crying, she testified earlier in the day. He told her he'd been in an accident. "Mom," he said, "I've killed someone." "No, Cameron," she said. "You're mistaken." But she stayed on the phone long enough to drive to the scene on Bayshore Boulevard. She saw the Ford Mustang, a gift she and her husband had given her son when he graduated 2 days earlier from Tampa Catholic High School. She saw him on his hands and knees in the grassy median. Herren last year pleaded guilty to 2 counts of vehicular homicide in the deaths of Jessica Reisinger-Raubenold and her 1-year-old daughter, Lilia. "I feel responsible for this accident," Cheryl Herren told the judge. "If I could, I would step in front of Cameron, and I would accept the punishment you might render." Cheryl Herren prepares to give testimony during a sentencing hearing for her son, Cameron Herren, on Thursday, April 8, 2021. Then, in the afternoon, came the victim's family. "They can comfort their children," said Pamela Reisinger, Jessica's mother and Lilia's grandmother, of the Herrens. "They can comfort and hug them. I go to a closet and sniff a t-shirt. I go to a baby picture and stroke her cheeks to comfort her. Do you know what it's like to prepare for a deceased loved one's birthday?" Brian Raubenold, Jessica's brother-in-law and Lilia's uncle, asked of Herren. "Do you know what it's like to whisper into a dying toddler's ears, 'I promise I will always take care of your dad'? You did this to us, Cameron. You killed them." Herren, then 18, headed out that morning May 23, 2018 with a friend, John Barino, to exercise at a local gym. Herren's older brother, Tristan, rode in the Mustang's passenger seat. Barino, then 17, drove separately in a gold Nissan. The cars stopped for a traffic light at Gandy Boulevard, then sped north on Bayshore. Other drivers and bystanders would later tell police the pair appeared to be racing. The cars were at times parallel to each other as they shifted between the 2 lanes. Reisinger-Raubenold, 24, who was visiting Tampa from Ohio, was walking back from Ballast Point Park that morning along the iconic boulevard to a relative's home. In a stroller, she pushed Lilia. At the intersection of Knights Avenue, she moved to cross the roadway. The cars approached. The Nissan swerved to avoid the young mother as she stepped out, one witness said. The Mustang moved to avoid the Nissan and struck the woman and her child. In court, Assistant State Attorney Aaron Hubbard presented data from the Mustang's navigation system, which recorded multiple speeding incidents in the days before the crash. It recorded one speed of 162 miles per hour on May 18 along Interstate 75. On May 22, the car reached 84 miles per hour along Bayshore. On the 23rd, the car topped 100 miles per hour moments before the crash. It then rapidly decelerated. A Tampa police detective testified that the car was moving between 30 and 40 miles per hour at the time of impact. David Raubenold, the widower and father of Lilia, spoke for an hour about the loss he has endured. He recalled driving toward the home where they were staying that day, seeing traffic backed up, thinking something terrible had happened. He began praying for a stranger. 13th Judicial Circuit Court Judge Christopher Nash has shown a picture of 21-month-old Lilia Raubenold while presiding over a Cameron Herren sentencing hearing on Thursday, April 8, 2021, at the Hillsborough County Edgecombe Courthouse in downtown Tampa. He spoke of his wife. She was a woman who loved children and had natural parenting skills. She was a parent who passed out notes to airplane passengers, apologizing if their child started to cry. She was a woman who believed in staying strong through diet and had studied nutrition in college. He spoke of how he sweats when he enters his daughter's room, where a baby's crib remains untouched. He spoke of seeing his 2 young nephews playing together and picturing the ghostly image of his daughter, trying to imagine what toys she would play with, what songs she would sing. He spoke of candlelight vigils and the loss to the community. "I want you to never forget that you have caused thousands of people to cry," Raubenold said. The victims' family members all said they wanted the maximum sentence. David Raubenold points at Cameron Herren while sharing his victim impact statement at Herren's sentencing hearing on Thursday, April 8, 2021, at the Hillsborough County Edgecombe Courthouse before 13th Judicial Circuit Court Judge Christopher Nash in downtown Tampa. Wearing black, pausing at times to weep or sip water, Cheryl Herren said her family has suffered, too. Cameron Herren's older brother, Tristan, was with him when the crash happened. When both got out of jail, their father had to sleep near them in a spare bedroom because they were so distraught, she said. They saw and continue to see the accident play over and over and over, she said. I'll hear screams at night from both boys. They have anxiety attacks and panic attacks.